Okay, I'm going to narrate a video of some dogs I trained this morning. See how it goes here. Let's see, 1 second. Okay. Okay, I've got 2 English Bulldogs. It's the second session I've worked them. I'm setting up the camera here in the training room. Benny's the dog in the corner, very happy, very intense, strong-willed golden doodle. That's a female bulldog right there. She's having hip problems. She's on Rimadyl and another medication. She's doing well. So I think I work her first. See what happens. The most important thing I do with these dogs is teach them to calm down and pay attention. To learn to ignore distraction. I'm their leader and they work for me. And I transfer that authority to the owners when they come in for their first lesson, appointing them leader, and then teaching them 15-minute exercise, how to maintain their status, authority, and establish a good line of communication with the dog. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Gonna work Benny first. So he tries to jump on me. I just kind of nudge him. I don't say a word. I kind of move my knees like I'm in a marching band. You saw me do that. So he doesn't approach me. He's learned. Put on his collar, unhook him off the stall chain. No, I think I take him right out and give him a quick command. Not sure. Yep. No warm up. I want to see if he's paying attention. Now he lives with that bulldog. All these 3 dogs live together. And when Benny first got here, he was a kangaroo. He was jumping 5 feet in the air, trying to knock you off your feet. He was here prior for training. This is a refresher. I'm trying to make him make mistakes so he'll reach a higher level of attention and higher level of cooperation. I'm just straightening up his sit, telling him what I want, showing him what I want him to do. He's a good dog. He wants to please. He's happy, friendly. He comes right to me, should sit right in front of me. Good boy. Hand up by my face for down, so he has to look at my face every time he sits in front of me. He slides into. Got a lot of unnecessary movement I'm trying to stop here. Now I'm working him off leash. I'm going to act like I still have the leash in my hand. I want him to get used to seeing my arms move and still listen. So I kind of drop the leash, pick up the leash, work with them. I get them used to seeing the leash on the floor, not in my hands. My hands are moving. So now I'm trying to teach them to come to my side on heel. So I do it 2 different ways, from in the front and then on the side. Just introducing that to him. Again, come to my side when I say heel. Now I'm telling him stay means freeze. So I use stay to teach the stand. I walk around him because I want him to understand stay there no matter where I go in your perimeter. Good boy. Again, you're getting used to seeing my hands move around, the leash not being in control. Now I stood from behind him and told him down. And he did really good. He didn't do it perfect, but he did it down. He did forward. So that was good. I end on a positive note. That's it. A lot more attention out of him. That was his first session since he's been here for his refresher. Now I'm going to work the little white bulldog. It's very important that you let these dogs decompress after training, whether it be um, on a stall chain, in a crate, just drop the leash and ignore the dog. Need to let the dog decompress. That's when the learning, most of the learning takes place. It's called latent learning, learning after the fact. This is only the second time I've ever worked this little dog. So I'm introducing this stuff to this little dog. Watch Benny watch him. And this is the female. Her boy, her old man, is in the crate off to the side watching, and he's going to freak out. You'll hear it. So I'm introducing the circle, 3 sits, or 2 sits, I believe here, and sit stay to the dog. I really want attention, and I'm introducing the commands. Very nice bulldogs. They love to cooperate. They're happy. They like me. I'm using a prong collar, just a tiny bit of pressure to communicate to them what I want. It's not about punishment. It's not about force in this situation. With this dog, it's not about force. It's not about punishment. Listen to her old man. Blah, blah. Leave her alone. She's mine. Ah, don't hurt my woman. Ah, help. Call a SWAT team. Good girl. When you praise a dog, you really want to get into it, deep tissue if possible. Make it sincere. They can feel if it's sincere or not. Good girl. Good sit. Now, she has bad hip, so I'm going to stop here in a second. Listen to him. Yeah, I'm going to go get the other dog. I take her, I put her in her crate for decompression, and they're in the same crate. I get him out, I make him sit, put the prong collar on him, and he needs an extra prong if I remember correctly. And then I walk him over here and I start to introduce him to the obedience commands, the circle, the pattern, the 2 or 3 sits in the straight line, sit stay in the third spot. I use a pattern for a lot of reasons because dogs retain that pattern. Their muscle memory is important. They retain the pattern. They're creatures of habit, they're pattern-oriented creatures. So using a pattern at dogs like these works very well to instill, teach, and initiate your training process. Then after a while, you change it. At the end of the video here, I've got a really scared dog, tough session. So you hang in, you get to see a very interesting session at the end here, or you can fast forward to about the middle of the video. But this is a good session here. This little bulldog does really good for the second session. So I'm starting with my circle, dog on the left side. I stop suddenly, hoping the dog will sit. More about attention, not force. And the praise is unique. Sincere and deep tissue. Now use that prong to guide the dog through this exercise. Show him what I expect, show him what I want his head to do. Very gently, very gently. I'm using very gentle pressure, very gentle pressure. It's a communication device if used properly. It's not a punishment tool. Good boy. left leg first. Sit. I whistled there to get his attention, and he sat. Attention is everything. Once you get a dog's attention, heel, sit, stay down. It's not that difficult usually. You use the obedience to get more and more attention, which gives you more and more cooperation. That's what I do anyway. It works for me. Good boy. So I'm going to end on a positive note here. Same thing, introducing the heel, sit, stay, heel, sit, stay. Next lesson, I start doing down. Helped him out a little bit by pulling on the lead again to get his head in the right, moving in the right direction up, and his butt moving in the right direction down. That's good enough. Now we'll get out the next dog. This dog was so afraid when it first came in that the dog's really hard to train. It took me a week to get the dog to sit. Let me back this up a second. Okay, here we go. Now I'm using negative stimulus to motivate this dog. There's no doubt about it. This dog knows this stuff now. I'm trying to bring the dog out of it. He's fighting me on that collar there. He resists it. I use my knee to nudge him into the correct position. He thinks I just had a spasm, but he respects it. And his tail starting to wag a tiny bit. Now he learns to beat the correction on down. I had to use force. Doesn't care about food. He doesn't care about treats. He doesn't care about balls. Doesn't care about toys. He cares about nothing. So I had to force him. One of those few dogs, 1 in 100, that need force training. I'm going to tap the leash here. No, I acted like it. I moved my feet around, and he knows I might tap that leash. So when I move my feet around right now, he's like, uh-oh, I better lay down. That's what's going on. He goes into avoidance. Avoidance meaning he wants to avoid a correction, and one of his options is to comply. That's what I count on. In this case, with this dog. Every session or every dog is different. Every method, technique you use can be different. If you're in tune with your dog's disposition and needs, it probably will be different. Using a leash to keep his head up. A dog will maintain whatever posture you put him in, usually in training. Your muscle memory is that defining. Bong, he got a tug on, he got a negative stimulus going in the direction I want his head to go, which is down, motivate him to comply. There I act like I was going to tap the ground, and he beat the correction. So he learns he can beat the correction by getting on the ground quickly. That's the whole thing I'm teaching him right now. He can avoid it if he's in avoidance, and he can beat it by laying down quickly. And I'm trying the emergency down. If he ever runs away, and he's running away and he won't come to the owner, they can yell down, and he'll hit the ground. He's stubborn as hell. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Slowly relaxing more and more. You see his posture getting more and more. Now I start using deep tissue praise. I start using a lot of it. Trying to bring him out of the stress. I always end on a high note. I'm trying to get some good cooperation out of them. And watch, here we go. Deep tissue. So I'm trying to take the stress out of how difficult this session is. It's not easy for me either. But the people pay me to get results, not to do what's necessary. They pay me to do what's necessary. He's a sweet dog. He's just a hard head, knucklehead. Watch, here we go. Boom. I acted like I tapped the ground. He laid down to beat the correction. This is a problem dog. It's not a dog that's here for the fun of training. You have to remember that. Anybody's trained dogs for trained problem dogs knows that sometimes force is the only option. I tapped the leash twice, and the third time I tapped the ground. And he lays down, beating the correction. I'm going to tap the ground. See? My little foot moves. Stubborn as hell. He's making me force him. Here it's baby steps. He gets better, a little bit better every single time. He goes home tomorrow. He's going to about be right there to go. Be right there when he goes home. See me acting like I'm moving my leg, spasms, my knee. He sees all that. They are threats, no doubt. You don't lie down, I'm going to tap on the leash. It's really that simple. That yawn is called appeasement. He's not happy with what's going on right now. He wants to get up and go hide in his little crate. So let's move ahead a little bit here. We're going to introduce the place command. So I walk him over and I expect him to lie down. He's not going to at first. I'm tapping it gently. With gentle taps. So he got up the wrong time, so I take him back. Boy. Again, I want to end on a positive note, so I forget how I wormed my way out of this. Let's see what happens. Disappearing out of the room for a minute. I'm going to walk around him, teaching him to stay there no matter where I go in your perimeter, and I gave him the release command. Okay, and he got up. Now I say, let's go to your place, and I take him back, and now I'm going to be a little more polite. I'm going to show him what I want him to do. Usually at this point, I do it real politely 2 or 3 times, and I build up the negative stimulus gradually. There he laid down on his own. That was perfect. And on a positive note, that's it. More time. I'm having some back pain. There you go. Positive note. Very good. There you go. Learn to teach your dog. Every dog method's a little different. Some dogs require force. Leave it to a professional.